Welcome to the Networking with Michelle podcast, the show dedicated to providing you with life strategies with a little bit of entrepreneur advice. Here we believe in the Jim Rohn quote, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Hey everyone, I hope all is well. Welcome to the Networking with Michelle show. I'm your host, Michelle Gomez. I am so excited to finally bring this interview to you. I had the privilege, I think either late November or December, to interview Alex, aka Nemo, which I like to say Foolies approved. Just an awesome brother. And I was going to release this episode earlier. I've been slipping, to be honest. But I redid the intro because on January 30th or the 31st, Gary Vaynerchuk's new book, Crushing It, came out, and Alex was featured in the book. And I just thought that was awesome news. And he has an amazing story. And he talks about his t-shirt line. Both of us went to Full Sail University, totally different programs, but that's how we connected. I think through the Facebook alumni group or a Full Sail platform. And it's just been an absolute pleasure watching this brother's journey, probably for the past 4 to 5 years online. And it's one of those things where, like, I don't know how he feels about this. Lots of times you don't need validation, right? But it is good to receive validation because it lets you know that you're on the right track. Like, it's another metric, it's another benchmark. And for him to be featured in Gary V's new book, like whatever that process is, I look, it's just freaking unbelievable. So salute to you, my brother. I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you. And all the listeners, I know you're going to learn something, especially if you have a t-shirt line. If you have a t-shirt line, looking to start a t-shirt line or any type of product line, I think this is going to be a great interview for you. A lot of nuggets in there. I just love his story. I love how everything unfolds. And then I'm also in the show notes. If you go to the show notes or go to the website, I will have a link to Alex's Facebook video where he talks about how he was featured in Gary V's book. And also just connect with him on social media. Brother puts out awesome content, awesome videos. And man, this is one. This is one for the books. This is one for the books. Oh man, this is a good episode. Stay tuned. Hey, good people. Welcome back to the Networking with Michelle show. Today's special guest is Alex Nemo Hans, a good online friend. It's been a couple of years. Alex, or let me say Nemo, Foolies approved. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I am, as I said earlier, Gucci, because that's what the kids. So I just want to be hip like the kids. So I am Gucci.
No, I feel you. I have my best friend. She's about, I think, 5 years younger than me. And I'm like, I keep you around so I can be cool. Like, what's the latest song? And I'm like, okay, I'm like, now you're getting old. I need to find a new, younger friend. But
Right. True. Young people are good to have around. They, even though we're still young at heart, but, just to understand just like some of the stresses, saying that young folk are going through that we just don't always think about. So they're going through a whole nother slew of just issues in life and, bullying and online stuff. And, so they're in an amazing new world, but it's also kind of scary all at the same time. So.
Right. So I think the first thing we had in common when we met online was we both graduated from Full Sail University. I did an online program, so we probably met through a Facebook group or something. But what's your background, and just tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
So friends call me Nemo. It's a name I got back at the University of Florida. That was my first college that I graduated from before the world of Full Sail. So I did my first degree in sports medicine. So my aspirations at the time was to be a physical therapist. So I was going to graduate, do some post-bac classes. I ended up going to massage school. And then I was like, yeah, it's time to, make this career happen and like get into the world of physical therapy. And then when I graduated, it was tough because I couldn't find a job. And what would happen is you would get the response of, okay, it's nice that you have a degree, but you have no experience. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not sure how this works because like, how will I ever get experience if I can't get hired, for the job? So I said, all right, well, I need to work. So I ended up working at AT&T for a couple of years. Not even a couple of years, excuse me. Probably about a year and change. I don't really even remember. Wow, it's been so long. So in 2009, when I graduated from UF, I ended up going to work at AT&T. It was like a little kiosk in the mall. And I won't belittle it to a kiosk. We actually had our own store. Thank you. And my boss at the time, he was like 50 something, and we would always go back and forth talking about music. And he's like, "Where did you get this passion from?" I was like, "Oh, I rap, and I've had albums that I've produced and all this stuff, and I would just love to break into the artistry industry or be the next Big Sean, Kanye, whoever." And he was like, "Well, what are you doing here?" It's like, "Well, following your dreams is cool, but like you got to pay the rent." It's like, I'm 50 plus, and you're still young. I have children. I got a missus at home. Like I can't do, what you're able to do now. And I'm 30 now, so 2009. I can't math, so let's just say I was around 23ish, 24ish, because I got to Full Sail at 25, so I was probably 23, 24. So he was just like, while you're young and still have all your teeth, you need to get out of here. And, he helped me look for like a place to live in Orlando. And I just kind of eventually made the move. And he was cool too, because he was like, I'll even put in a good request for you. Not a good request, but like whatever it is so that you're on good standing. So if you had to take your job back, you can. So he did that for me. And the crazy part was that when I went to go back to see him, it was like December. I went to school in September. It was around December time. I went back, or I came back at some point, and I was like, "Oh, let me go, tell him what I've been doing, show him some of my work, and blah blah blah." And I get back to the store, and I'm like, "Man, it's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and like, why is the gate down? Like, where is everybody?" So I kind of like peeked through the little side window, and I'm like, "Wait, like, the store isn't here anymore?" And I was like, "Wow, like, had I stayed here, I would have just lost this anyways." You know what I'm saying? So everything kind of happened as it should. And, being at Full Sail was just like another just eye opener to the world and to the entertainment field, which I have a strong mental thought process that a lot of my friends should actually be in the entertainment field. I think they're in the wrong. I think a lot of my friends are in the wrong industry. And if I could drag them out and bring them into the entertainment business, I really would, because, I watch everybody who, they're murking it on social media. They're ripping it up as promoting for their friends. So it's almost like PR, and, they have a marketing mind. And when you talk to them, or even some of my friends who suggest ideas to me, I'm like, man, a TV agency, an entertainment group, a agency that does like, your Gary Vaynerchuk style of work, that kind of stuff. I'm like, man, you're in the wrong place. Like, you're not where you should be. And I see that, and I feel that every day. And it's tough because in the entertainment careers aren't necessarily, they're not on billboards. When you're driving down the street, you see marriage attorney, you see divorce lawyer, you see tax, you see doctor, you see big companies. You don't see head of A&R for Sony. You don't see head of marketing for Uber. You don't see, social media coordinator for Tide, Huffington Post, Bad Boy. You don't see those professions. But the stuff that I see my friends doing, these companies would freaking kill for the likes and the engagements and the conversations and how they keep their audience just so in tune with everything they say. And if they say, hey, go do this or go support this or go rock this, and or if they wear something as influencers, they don't even know they're influencers. People are like, hey, girl, let me get that shirt. Hey, where you got that hey, where you got that, whatever that product is in the back, that painting, that drawing, whatever it is, people light up whenever they do anything. I want to follow them and want to be like them to some degree. So it was interesting, for me to realize like, man, I need to be in the entertainment field, and to now almost being like my own like X-Men Academy, if you will, and seeing other, fellow mutants, I guess, if you will, and saying, wow, like I need y'all to join the academy, as well. But I battle with being Xavier or Magneto, I suppose. So that's kind of a whole nother geeky world of mine. But yeah.
So what do you do exactly?
I do many things. I'm the CEO of Foolies Limited Clothing. It's all about motivational, aspirational apparel to motivate you to live out your dreams foolishly. So we want to inspire you. If you're like, I'm stupid enough to go chase this dream, or I'm foolish enough to leave this profession behind and go get this money elsewhere, or I'm foolish enough, even though I'm a lawyer, doctor, physicist, whatever, to write a book on relationships or love or marketing, because that's just what I'm passionate about. And so the goal is to inspire those people who are foolish and who are chasing those dreams. And it's a cool world to be in. It's a blessing, if anything, to be able to remind people, because I tell people all the time, I was like, I'm not here to motivate you, I'm here to remind you of what you already knew. And most times the things that I say to people, it's not that they never heard it before. I'm not saying anything super wise or sage. They just, when they hear how passionately I'm telling them to go pursue it, it's like you can kind of see something click, and it's like, dang, like he really believes in me. Like, do I believe in myself like that? Like, shouldn't I believe it? I should, you know what I'm saying? And I'll hear people who will say, hey, thanks to you, I started my business. Hey, I just went back to this, went back to get my MBA. I just picked up my camera again, started taking photos and launching my photography business. Thanks so much, Nemo. So I get a lot of those messages. I get a lot of those texts. I get a lot of, hey, I really needed your post today, or thank you so much for that shirt you made, because it just inspired me, because, I've been going through all of this. And, people are just like, hey, I've been in a dark place, and I see your videos, and I see your posts you're making, and I see all the stuff that you're doing. And it's crazy because a lot of these people aren't the ones who are commenting and liking and sharing anything. You know what I'm saying? So for anyone even listening, you know what I'm saying, I guess my quick message is, you never know who's watching. You know what I'm saying? Like when we got featured on Essence and OWN Network, some random girl hit me up and was like, hey, I'm from the Essence team, and, we want your apparel for this event we have. And I had no clue. You know what I'm saying? And I think I asked her, how did we come up? And it was like, oh, just a discussion. And they were throwing around stuff, and your company came up, and it was like a shot in the dark. Who knows? Maybe I have a homeboy in there. Maybe I have a homegirl who they don't know that we're connected. And none of that even matters. It's just, you just don't know what divine moments you're going to have just because of your consistency, just because of you, paying attention to what's going on, to you really nailing the timing, because everything that we've been doing so far, it's really all on timing. The next T that, you'll see from us says goals, dreams, and melanin. And I think at this point where we are, those are three of the most important things to people of color. You know what I'm saying? Not just the concept of the shirt alone, but like, what are you working on? Is this my goals? What do you focus on? I'm trying to get to my dreams. And like, everything is very melanated or driven now by the culture, and we're realizing that. So that's just kind of what it is. That's what I'm doing. My daytime job, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to flex like I'm just out here whipping T-shirts and sitting in my empire, because I'm literally in my bedroom. I work at my university that I graduated from. I'm also a freelance audio engineer. So I'm at different live shows, concerts. I'm editing podcasts. I'm making jingles, recording music, whatever I can do. A lot of it is pro bono. A lot of it is just me giving back and helping and using my skill sets. I'm now back in school again for graphic design because I had to make that investment for my company so that I can truly guide a team into what I want to see Foolies get into next. You know what I'm saying? So I guess at the core, I'm a visionary, so that's also what I do. But I just see brands, I see business, I see art, I see life, and at some point, people will be sitting down and consulting me and saying, "Hey, we're trying to get our XYZ to the next level, and we need you and your eyes and your thoughts and your creativity to actually power that." So that's the future.
What was the time frame? Or let's go back to how did you start the clothing line? What was the first, I guess, motivational quote to say like, "Let me do t-shirts"?
The first motivational quote was "Foolies," because that was the first thing we put on a shirt. I had a dirty white tee, and it was me and my brother of another skin color and co-founder, who was like, I was doing music, spitting these bars, and we would say "Foolies" to open up the song. So it'd be like, "Foolies, it's the movement," and that was kind of like how we started our tracks. And so my college buddies really got, I guess, involved in like, "Foolies this, Foolies that," and they would say it. And so I put it on a shirt because that's what rappers do. You make clothing lines. That's kind of the 3-step process. It's like rapper, clothing line, perfume line, cologne line. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a sequence of things. So it was like, yeah, let's put "Foolies" on a shirt, because I remember actually Googling how do you get fans to be engaged with your music, and power of Google, because hey, if I'm an artist and I'm trying to figure out how to make my shine happen, and research. So I Googled it, and it came up, and it was like, you need to give your fans an identity. You need to call them, the puppets or the aliens or the monsters, because they need something to say that that's them. So if you're the monsters and you're the wild, outgoing, carefree, nothing can stop you people, then hey, when you get on stage, or when you drop your next hashtag, it needs to say #monsters or hashtag monstars, because not only are we monsters, we're going to take over. You're saying whatever your thing is. So we did that. We created an identity, and we said, hey, what do Foolies do, and who are they? Where are they? What are they gold chasers? Are they just being stupid? They're foolishly just getting wasted, or are they foolishly doing something important? You know what I'm saying? So we had to really sit down and evaluate, okay, well, what is a Foolie gonna do once they realize who they are and what it is, and if they do realize it, because it'll be cool one day when like you go in the industry and like people are using this as a regular phrase, and like, hey man, like you're such a dreamer, like what are you thinking? Oh, I've been a Foolie forever. You know what I'm saying? And people are like, what? Oh, you're what? You're been a Foolie? Yeah. I'm foolishly chasing my dreams. Y'all know the phrase, like, oh yeah, I've heard that. Saying I want it to be that common household concept where it's like, yeah, man, I'm a Foolie, man. Like I'm foolish. I'm team Foolies. And it's like people, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, maybe even after I've left this earth, people are still kind of saying how they're foolish or they're Foolies or whatever the case may be. So yeah, we start off with just putting a word on a shirt, and that was the beginning. And, we've transformed into, the first official quote was "Dream without limits and faith over fear." And then, actually, no, I'm lying to you. So going back, my first quotes were actually rap quotes. I would put popular rap phrases on shirts like "That Ish Cray" or "Whoa There." And so that was the beginning. And that was where we had to think about what kind of message are we giving off. And that's kind of where all of that came from. It's because we weren't really, the name of the company wasn't consistent with the message that we were providing to the audience. So it's like, yeah, Foolies are people who live out their dreams. And you have a shirt that says "That Ish Cray." Okay, it sounds like you're just trying to make money. That was it. We didn't know what we were doing. I've seen other people kind of do that. So I was like, oh, I'll do the same thing. But, once we put "Dream without limits" on a shirt, and "Faith over fear," and "Dream without fear," and, "Let nothing stop you," those are some of those first quotes. People were like, okay, this message now fits with what you've been saying all this time. And even if they weren't physically telling me that, that's what started to actually allow me to see sales. So...
Okay. And what shirt did you have that was featured in Essence and OWN?
It was our Be Inspired tee. So it has a bunch of phrases of like dope Black women in the industry. Be strong like Regina, be fresh like Taraji. Hold on, gotta think of it. Write like Shonda, shine like Lupita, deliver like Uzo, speak like Viola, age like Angela, rule like Queen, walk like Carrie, lead like Ava. And to be honest, man, that shirt came out of like tears. Like I watched Viola get like her first Emmy or first Globe or something like that, and then I watched Regina King get hers, and I was just bawling. I was like, man, like, because these girls were on stage and they were just like, we just want a shot, we just want a chance, we just want people to recognize us, and I'm like, me too, and like bawling. um, and that's just how I've always felt like with this movement. Like I just want my shot and I want my chance. And I was like, man, you know what? Let me put this. Let me like just stuff started hitting me. I was like, I was like, right, like or like walk like this, or like I was just kind of playing around with stuff. And then I had a homegirl, who I was talking to like early in the morning, because I have a bunch of friends that I just talk to in the morning time, and she was like, oh, put Taraji on there, she can be fierce. Like, be fierce like her. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like thinking of stuff, and then she was adding on. And then I sent like all those girls' names were on the shirt, but I sent the pre-shirt, if you will, to a homegirl. And I was like, hey, I might drop this online as a graphic. No shirt, just a graphic. I was like, what do you think? And she was like, oh, Alex, I needed this. Nemo, I needed this. And I was like, so I could drop this? She was like, yes, drop it. So I put it out early that morning. It was like right after the Globes, right after the Emmy. So once again, timing is super important, because had I dropped that like 2-3 weeks later, who the hell would have cared? You know what I'm saying? But the fact that I dropped that right after all the debauchery of like black women not getting da 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 da, and then boom, Viola gets hers, Regina gets hers, and I say, cool, I'm just gonna drop this graphic in the morning. Wasn't a shirt, wasn't anything, just the graphic. Then like 9:00, I dropped it. I went to work, trying to pay the bills. And, I can check my phone every now and then. So I was like, man, I'm getting all these like notifications. I guess people are liking, commenting, whatever. And one girl commented and was like, is this going to be a shirt? And I was like, nah. And she's like, are you going to add any more girls like Lupita? And I was like, nah, I mean, it's a graphic. It's already made. So I guess I could next time. But I was just putting this out because I felt it. And then I saw another comment from Lovey Ajayi. And if you know who Lovey is, she's like a game-changing African young lady in the social media space. And she commented on the page and was like, hey, Alex, is this yours? And I already knew who she was. So I'm like, yeah, obviously typing it, but like, yeah, it's mine, and she, I messaged her, and let's see, let's do a little investigation. Let's see if I still have that message stream, because I never deleted it. Let's see if it's still there. Oh, perfect. It is still here. So you're getting like an exclusive, because I've never really replayed this conversation that we had on our chat. It doesn't go back too far. She basically was like, get your coins. Like, hey, if this is your shirt, she's like, did you create the original graphic? I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay, cool. Well, you need to get your coins in here. If you follow these instructions, like, this is what's about to go down. And she recommended me the Teespring site. Never heard of it a day in my life. She didn't even know I had a t-shirt company. But she just recommended the t-shirt stuff. I had to get my VP on, my COO, to kind of help me out and, make things happen. And, they got to talking, and then we put out the graphic officially, and she was like, okay, cool. She told us to add Queen Latifah, add Lupita on there. Add, she made me put in a bunch of extra names that really made the shirt pop. And, it just all worked, as it just should have. I couldn't have asked for any of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this just was, purely divine. Her thing was like, you need to get your coins. And
what was the time frame, I guess, from the time you started your t-shirt line with the rap quotes up until this point, as well as getting the media attention?
This was 2016 when the whole big, I guess, bubble broke. But I started back in 2009. So 2016, it's funny because I think 2015, me and my COO, we said, regardless of if we're selling shirts or not, we need to be motivating our audience a lot more. So even if we're just putting our own inspiration on just graphics, it doesn't need to be t-shirts. We don't need to always be posting photos of girls in apparel. That's not what this is about. So if nobody's buying our shirts and taking photos in them, is that all we're about? Just $1? Are we not here to inspire and uplift and motivate people? So is this the game we're playing? And I had to have that conversation with myself first. And we just started motivating people and encouraging people. So that's the only reason that made me say, oh, let me put out this graphic about this situation with the Globes or the Emmys or whatever, because like we were already in that stream of like constant motivation, constant encouragement, just put it out, versus like, oh, if we, just only posting shirts of girls in their apparel or guys in their tees and like buy now, like I just don't really care for all of those phrases. Like there's a time and a place for it, and I am getting better at selling, but I just care more about my mission. And so if my mission is out of whack, then none of this even matters. So yeah, 2009 was when it began. 2016 is when everything broke. And then, so it was actually late 2015, like October, late 2015. And then 2016 was when we got the feature. 2015, October-ish, is when we got the cosign from Levy, because she actually reposted that to her page. And so that caused like all these likes and shares, and all these girls like, is this a shirt? Is this a shirt? Take my money, like all kinds of phrases. And then like the graphic itself, like Ava DuVernay retweeted just a graphic, so it wasn't a shirt yet. So I was like, dang, all this stuff was happening all at once. And I was like, crap, like what is going on? You know what I'm saying? So we were just kind of riding that wave, and then anybody who was retweeting and commenting, we were just in the Twitter and in the messages and reaching out to people and dropping the links on pages or whatever where people were talking about the shirt and sharing it. So like I said, it was just divine. It was just supposed to happen at that time. Yeah.
Do you think when it comes to consistency, is that more of a mindset, or it's really seeing the progress and receiving the feedback from your fans and followers and customers?
I guess it could be a mindset. I mean, it's just good habits. I mean, if, I hope to work out more at some point, but until that becomes a daily routine, then it's going to be trashed. You know what I'm saying? So like, I can say all I want to get fit, and I want to bring sexy back, and, find my Ruth or whatever. But like, if my goal is to be healthy and to be fit and to be motivated and, whatever the thing is, like, it needs to be every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a really cheesy, like, entrepreneurial quote, like, motivation is like a shower you need it daily. When in actuality, you don't need to shower every day, but that's another whole conversation. But still, like, you have to be at it daily. And if you're not at it daily, like a human being, and that maybe more so what it is, like you need to actually be human when you're online and marketing and talking about your products, because people don't notice, like a lot of people do notice, but I don't know if people realize that most of the content I share is not really me saying buy anything. Most of the content I share is just encouragement. And then every now and then, I'll come in and say, hey guys, this is what I'm offering. If you'd like to support, go ahead. If not, then that's fine too. But a strong majority of what we will actually post and share and, whatever is content that motivates you guys. If I can't do that first and foremost, then what am I here for? And that's just me. Obviously like my team and my COO who's like, hey, we need to start saying sell or buy. I appreciate her kind of giving me that punch to the gut, because I always feel weird about it. But, I've heard, a lot of speakers kind of say, hey, don't think of it as you're selling something. It's not a car. That's not the game we're playing. Like, you're selling value. You're selling an experience. You're selling something impactful. So act like it, and act like your product is meaningful. And not just saying it's meaningful, because we can just say, oh man, you should buy my spatula because it's going to like really help you cook better. Like, no, like you should buy this apparel that says, chase your dreams, or, the be strong like Regina's or whatever, because that's going to do something for your soul. That's going to do something for your spirit. These teas that we put out, we sit long and hard on these ideas before we drop them, just to make sure that we're not just saying things to say them. And then we still try to be catchy and still in the wave of what's being discussed, because we want to still be relevant at the same time. You don't want to seem like you're dropping quotes from, the 2000s when we're in 2017 going into 2018. So you really want to think about, okay, well, hey, if you are going to drop that spatula, or whatever your product is, like I've seen somebody, Arsha Jones from Teas in the Trap. She had like a coupon code for her product, and it was like "Rake It Up" is the coupon code to save XYZ, 10%, 20%. And that's smart. Why? Because what's the popular song right now? Well, Rake It Up. Okay, cool. So knowing your audience, and she knows her black urban, dope melanated chick, she knows, who that person is. We know who those people are. Market it like the way the world is moving right now. And that only makes sense to me, at least.
With you experiencing viral success, do you think there's a formula to it, or is pure organic?
I think it could be a formula. I think if you, well, yeah, I think it could be a formula for us. We do kind of stalk shows. We stalk, award shows. We stalk, Black culture. We stalk, what trends are shifting in the media. What are people saying? What are people doing? Because if you do that and then you drop something at the right time and it takes off, then cool. And then you can repeat that. Well, and I'm not saying just waiting for like the next big thing. What's the next big thing? I think it's really being in tune with what the culture is saying that isn't being stated all the time. You know what I'm saying? So if you notice that there's this like mull of, I seen a shirt that says coffee. I think it says coffee, no milk. And I thought that was really cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, why is a shirt like that so important right now? Well, because for that woman who isn't, who isn't always called beautiful, sometimes being called beautiful is being mixed. And so obviously when you mix coffee and milk, it makes it all, like brown or whatever. And nothing against anyone who's mixed, but I'm just saying for the person creating the shirt, that just makes sense. Why is that shirt important? Well, there's something going on culturally. No one's saying, hey, make a shirt for those only Black. No, but there is somebody saying make a shirt. They're saying it with their actions. They're saying it with the things they're posting. They're saying it from the encouragement, lack of encouragement they're receiving. They're saying it when they cry out on social media about how they're not voiced and how they don't matter and how no one cares. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are saying things all the time. It's, are we truly listening to what isn't being stated, or, what is being stated, through actions, like a girl saying, I'm fine. It's like, like, you're not fine. Something's going on. No, I'm fine. I promise I'm fine. It's like, nah, you're not. So we're not listening to the tones. You know what I'm saying? It might be because we're on social media, so people don't get it. But for me, I read things like how I speak. So for me, and I'm sure everyone does it, but if I see a certain wave of comments and responses and wants and longing that I can feel, I'm like, hold up. I think it's time that we made a shirt that said this, because this new shirt that we have, our goals, melanins, and dreams. We've had this shirt we've had the idea for at least almost 6 months to a year, but it wasn't the time yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, right now it is. You know what I'm saying? Right now, the melanin craze wasn't even kicking like that. Like, yeah, it was building, but it wasn't. So now that we've dropped amazing on a sales level or not, it still was a better time now than, my last shirt was My Dreams Lit. Okay, well, what is the culture saying right now? We're using the phrases lit, and that's popular. So, okay, cool. So the apparel is in alignment, and then you can use, our apparel is almost like a history marker of what was going on in culture and hip hop and life and love and the Black community are inspired like Obama shirt. Okay, well, we were dropping that as Obama was leaving, office, and Empower like Michelle, because those two figures have just been amazing. So for me, even if the sales aren't super amazing and we're not getting hundreds and hundreds of sales, I'm just happy to paint history with our apparel and place that. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody was to literally look through our Instagram page, you can almost see what's going on culturally, which is great to me. I think that's what our movements and missions should be doing. It should be telling this story that you can see. We have a shirt that says "Change the World Like Chance." Okay, well, why? Well, Chance the Rapper is doing amazing things for his community, for his culture, for his self. And that's a statement. He's an independent artist. People aren't the fact that he's not chained to a label is amazing, and all this stuff means something. So I want people to be like, okay, cool, I see that shirt, but why don't you look into what is going on, and why is that shirt important, and what was the culture talking about, and what kind of moves were being made at the time. So, if we're not trying to be historians, but we get to have that pleasure as well.
I love it. I love it. Having your messaging aligned to the culture movement, that's priceless. Oh, okay. So you said, the new shirt that just came out today, you said you've been holding that idea for 6 months. And lately, for the past week, you've been pushing, I'm paraphrasing, I believe, don't hold on to your content. So what is that about?
You can't use my words against me, woman. How dare you? That's exactly.
I'm going through that too. Like, I have so many ideas. I'm working on multiple things, and part of it's my fault because I'm not able to finish. But and oh God, honestly, I know there's one thing I'm working on right now that if I put it out, there's a great chance it could probably propel me to the next level. But working through a lot with that, because it's not just about creating the content. There's other things tied with that. But yeah, that video.
Hold on just a second. Your phone is breaking up a little bit. Repeat that.
Oh, so I'm working on a book that could possibly propel me to the next level. But part of it's me holding on to the content and trying to get all of this stuff in sync. But yeah, I saw the message and some of the video last week, or the post last week. Yeah. And I'm like, dang, that brother's speaking to me again.
You know what though? Even though we were holding on to content, it wasn't that we weren't still putting out content. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that, oh, we held on to it and it should have been out earlier. It was just like, how I look at it is like, let's say if I have like a board in front of me and this board has like 6 dots, maybe different colors, red, blue, green, yellow. It's like, okay, cool. Like red needs to be at the front right now. Yellow is next. Orange is next. Green is next. Okay, cool. Look, we're going to put orange in the front, and then everyone just kind of scales down. So that's kind of how we do it. We'll have like, okay, well, this is what's going on. Let's throw out this idea. What about this? What about this? Okay, this is great. Let's put this right here in the middle for now, because let's warm things up with this and this. Cool. So we're warming things up with 1 and 2. 3 is in the middle. Oh, snap. 5 is really relevant right now. Let's shift 5 in front of 1, because right now, while I feel 1 and 2, and I really want 3 to make us break, 5 just became really popular. Boom. So we put 5 in front. Everything shifts back. Then when 5 is, kind of fills it out, we go back to 2, since maybe if that was the next one. All right. Okay, I think let's put 3 in the forefront right now, because right now it's a good time. Things have calmed down. We don't see any new trends building. I think 3 will work. We could at least test the waters and see if anybody likes it. If not, maybe we can kind of just figure out what went wrong and then reinsert it back into the culture, because it's just like viral. When things go viral, sometimes people are like, yo, that's been on the internet for like 5 years though. And that's what happens all the time. Like something goes viral, but it's like, yo, that video's like, I remember when that video only had 100 views, and like, cause I'm the one who posted it. Now, with all these like new editing apps and people can rip videos off Facebook and YouTube, the right motivational account or the right gossip account might repost it, put their logo on it, and then all of a sudden, the beauty of the culture is that like we're always looking for who created that. And so people will just start tagging, oh, that's my homegirl, boom, 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 boom. Hey, Toya, your post was on this page. Like people, I get so many tags whenever anybody rocks my apparel. It's like my friends are like guard dogs. There's people who tag me and stuff that I didn't even know knew I had this apparel. And, they haven't bought anything. Like, hey, Nemo, this girl has your shirt. You know her? Or like, hey, this shirt looks like yours, Nemo. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, hey, that shirt was out before mine. It's like, I'm not there. I didn't know they even existed, but I appreciate you looking out. We don't got to, get into nothing crazy just yet. But I appreciate, the eyes and the ears. And, once again, sometimes people will message me and say, hey, is this coming? And I'm like, boom. You know what? I was meaning to drop that. Okay, I think that can take the place of one right now. And we'll put 5 in the back burner. So, it's just, we keep just like a slot of ideas because it's kind of silly to me to only have like, while you only see one idea, we're still generating more because we understand what's happening. We understand what's shifting. Right now we're preparing for a new, we're already talking about a new shirt and we've been talking about it for the last 3 months, but we know we have to wait for this next shirt after the one currently to drop because there's just things that are going to start happening. And we know that's going to happen as the new year begins. So we're like, okay, cool. You already know, like, so if let's say you wanted to sell your product for homecoming next year. Well, when homecoming comes up every year, month before homecoming, 2 months before homecoming, maybe that's the time to drop that product, or maybe right at homecoming, boom, drop your product because it's in alignment with HBCUs and people start sharing it and going crazy. Now, if you share that after the classics and FAMU, BCC, and after the Bayou Classics, then it's irrelevant. That was just poor timing. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, it's coming back. Hold it. Manifest a little bit. Maybe plant some seeds. If you got an email list, let them know what's going on. Kind of build up, the wave, and then. Okay, cool. It's coming. Hey guys, remember blah, blah, blah. And then you're just recycling something that was once old. I mean, that happens all the time with content on Netflix. It may fail on TV and this show gets canceled. Then the medium seems to be like, okay, well, let's try it out on Netflix. We'll just sell them whatever we have and, we'll get whatever coins we can from it. And all of a sudden this company is like, we're renewing for a 3rd, 4th, and 5th season. Oh, well, why? What happened? Sometimes it's just the mediums that we're on isn't really for what we're trying to do. And some people don't really get that. So t-shirts and social media, great. People love shopping online. All we do is click links and try to buy the next thing, tickets for shows, events, whatever. So I'm in a perfect place for that. Maybe if I was selling pottery, I shouldn't be on, I can still be on Facebook. I think that's the universal one, but maybe I also need to be on Facebook and Pinterest because maybe that's the place for it. So you should know and at least test where your markets are and where people exist. So like maybe I need to go to planters convention conferences and flower networking workshops. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I need to go to that. Like, why am I trying to sell my flowers to the Meat Rack Club? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm mad at everybody in the Meat Rack Club because they're not supporting my flowers. Like, that's not what they care about. So think about what they care about and make that shift into wherever they are. Or culturally, we make apparel based on what people are saying and thinking and feeling. So I scour the globe every single day, and I do it for fun. It's not like I'm like, oh my God, what's next? It's just like, no, I just love seeing what my culture is talking about. The internet is like not saying a gossip column per se, but the internet is just like, a big water cooler. And you're hearing all these dope conversations and hearing all these dope things that Black people are doing, at least around my water cooler. You're hearing all dope conversations, how dope Black people are killing it. Right now it's about Bozoma St. John. If you don't know about her, go look her up. She's destroying the game. Like, I'm looking for those, saying Yvonne Orji, like another game changer, like that whole Issa Rae pack and click and everybody she rolls with, Ava DuVernay dropping Wrinkle in Time soon, Black Panther coming in February. Like, I already saw somebody had Wakanda Forever tease. Perfect. You know it's a hype right now. Drop that apparel that lines with that movie. You know it's coming. You know it's coming on the 16th. If you got a company, a business, whatever, if you can even buy out a movie theater and get all of your people to come and see Black Panther on behalf of your company, hey guys, like, do that. Like, duh, you know what I'm saying? Like, or hey, if you can't get to buy at a movie theater, hey, who wants to come with me to the movies? I'm gonna be arranging and trying to book tickets for us, blah, 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 and then make an event out of it. And then say, hey, let's, after we eat, after we watch Black Panther, let's go hit the ice cream shop. And now you got photos and pictures and selfies and all the stuff with you and your little mini meetup. You already know people are gonna go see Black Panther. You'd be almost silly if you didn't get people together to go see it with you, especially if you have a business and you want to use that as like a semi-promotion. Hey, come kick it with your boy. Come kick it with your homegirl. The Black girl melanated crew is about to go see Black Panther. If you Black and you melanated and y'all want to hang, come out. Perfect.
What has allowed you to catch and capitalize on trends early on?
The smartphone, man. The hashtags. I mean, it's simple. It's like I'm on my phone. I watch these silly videos that people post, even if I don't like them. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I don't really look at is like fighting and all the negative stuff. I literally hide every post. Anytime somebody says anything negative,
yeah,
or if it's like another, unfortunate like African American being murdered, like I don't want to see that. Like I still want to do my research and understand what's going on, but I don't want to see that kind of graphic content. I grew up in Miami. I've luckily not had to see people get murdered, but I knew what was going down around me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to live that mental, social media PTSD that I'm triggering on myself from watching these things. I don't want to do that to myself. But as far as paying attention to trends, I'm just watching what y'all are posting. Like everybody want to drop a Kev on stage video and he's ripping people apart. So if somebody was smart, whenever he destroys somebody's mac and cheese, you drop a t-shirt that says make mac and cheese black again or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever that is, that would probably be cool and relevant to that culture, because Kev on stage just roasted it, right? Thanksgiving just came. So if you had a shirt that said make mac and cheese black again, playing off of, Donald Trump and his foolery, you know what I'm saying? Like that's perfect. You know what I'm saying? And so you just need to always be on, always be visual. Like the beauty of like learning design is that we're paying attention to everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I look at logos, I look at graphics, I sit down and I'm staring at this box of cereal and I'm like, oh my God, the layers, the shades, the shadows, the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like you just need to get that in tune, you know what I'm saying, with whatever your company concept is. You need to be researching. You need to be looking up articles about your field. You need to set up Google alerts that will send you, email updates about anything that you find to be trending. I have like a couple of things on my Google alerts that anytime anybody says this content enough, boom. Okay. Oh, that's the trend. What's going on? Research time. All right. I'm watching these entrepreneurs. I'm watching what they're saying. I'm watching what they're doing. Okay. I hear all of this right now. I don't like what's being said. Time for me to insert my thought. And that can happen too, where you can watch your kind of, not saying competition, but you can watch what people are saying. And if you don't like it, it may be the perfect time to insert your rebuttal, because on one end, people are like, hustle, 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 hustle. You need to hustle. You're not grinding, da, da, da. But then maybe I need to put out a quote that says, hey, if you're not an entrepreneur, it's okay. Why is that important? Because everybody's making it seem like if you're not an entrepreneur, you lost. No, I don't want to work for myself. And that's fine too. You know what I'm saying? So now my voice needs to be, hey, just keep going hard in whatever you're going hard in. You don't need to start a business. And then somebody's like, thank you, Alex. Appreciate you. Like everybody has me feeling like because I'm working my 9 to 5 that I suck. No. But if you're not happy in that 9 to 5 and you do have something on your heart, then yes, find a way to, make that side hustle come to life and take more photos or do more graphics or sing more or post your YouTube videos, because I don't want you to live unhappy. But once again, it's paying attention to what's being said, what's being stated. Hey, go through Barnes and Nobles and look at the books coming out. You can probably see what the trends are that way. Look up the New York Times bestsellers. What's making it to the bestsellers list? Maybe read all 10 of those books and then make your own book that counters all those books. If you know what's happening, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this stuff, once again, is it's paying attention, is almost treating this like a sniper. You know what I'm saying? Like a sniper is very aware of what's going on, movement. They've watched the habits. They know your patterns. They know you're going to pass by this spot at 5:00 every day, turn around 3 times, pick out your phone and put it back in your pocket and sit down. And it's just, even if you think you're not a creature of habit, you are. You do something that you don't realize you do. Like when my power went out during the hurricane, every time I walked into a room, I was turning switches on like I had power. That was just a habit that I'm used to when I walk into a room to just turn a switch on. I was like, oh, snap. I didn't even notice I did that. You know what I'm saying? It's just things that, you know, even when you drive home from work, you probably get home from work and not even think. You've routinely already created how you're going to get from point A to point C, D, and whatever. So there's habits that we are in. We know people January 1st, workout time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what's about to go down. If you're trying to get your training career off, January 1st might be the perfect time to launch your training career or your training platform. Or, you know, people be talking about summertime fine. So maybe around March, April, you know, January, March, April, May, maybe start having something that's like, hey, let me help you get your summertime fine back. Or I follow this guy named Ramon Ray Grayson, and one of his taglines is, let me help you get your high school body back. And I was like, ooh, that's good. Because that's what people want. Like, man, if I could go back to high school. You hear it all the time. If you hear a certain thing all the time, you hear a certain phrase all the time to say, okay, everybody keeps saying this. Maybe I need to do something, or maybe I need to suggest that idea to my friend who's doing it, or maybe I need to tell my boss, hey, there's this really dope thing happening. And I think if we can catch on to this trend, and that may be the reason you get that promotion. So keep your eyes open, you know. Sounds silly, but most times our eyes are just locked on and we're just focused on our own world. So much things are happening around us and we don't even know it. So, you know, keep your eyes open, be aware, you know, do the Google alerts thing, look up what's trending on social media. When I see trending on the side, I ask myself why and what, and okay, well, is that important to me? Well, not really. Okay, but I understand what's happening. You know what? Let me engage in this article. It seems like something I wouldn't read, but I just want to see what's going on. You know, right now they're talking about the Time Person of the Year. Okay, well, let me look up the Time Person of the Year in the next couple of hours. Like, maybe it's one of those black girls that are on my shirts, and now I can go repost. You know, maybe buy that Time mag, and then do a dope little shoot with that magazine and my product next to it. So, yeah. Hopefully this makes sense.
It does. All of it makes sense. Kai, you have a podcast.
Yes, ma'am.
You want to go into that a bit?
I just want to highlight dope people of color, and I want to highlight dope people in general. So I've had some other, you know, cultural groups on there, Europeans on there, but yeah, I just want to highlight the culture, and so, you know, it's called Dream Without Limits Radio, and it's tying back into our very first shirt that, you know, started growing in popularity. And, you know, I was like, okay, well, if we have this whole Dream Without Limits thing, and, you know, maybe we should have a radio show that could also tell you how to dream without limits. And it just, you know, saying, just kind of, once again, paying attention and listening. And, you know, we are at, let's see, I think I had to like recall because it's tough to remember sometimes. We're at episode, let's see, like 100 and whatever. Where are we at? 100 and I'm about to get the final number, 120. And I have like episodes 121 and a few others like already in the queue. So while people were like, oh, that was nice, you know what I'm saying, I'm already working on maybe reaching out to the next 5 guests. So I've already get the next, you know, 3 out of the 20 I hit up already saying yes. And now we're setting up times. So yeah, I just want people to know that that these dope black people exist, man. Like, I'm tired of just like, I got tired of just like not reading stories about us or not hearing stories about us. And now there's a lot more platforms for it. So that was something I should have been doing eons ago when I felt it, but I just wasn't in tune like that. Or I was, and I just didn't trust myself. And sometimes that's really all it is too. Just trust it. Like, okay, it doesn't seem like it's going to work now. Do it anyways. Because maybe it won't work now. 7 years from now, you're now overnight success. You're on Ellen, Oprah. You're sitting down with all these stars and celebs because you just trusted yourself and didn't let anyone rock you. And we're so easily swayed. It's not working because you only got 5 plays. No, that's amazing. If 5 people were sitting with you in a room and listening to you speak, that's a big room. You know, if you get 5 really big people, you good. You just put 3 or 4 people in the seat. So, you know, we worry about those things a lot, you know. So I don't worry about the 5 plays. I worry about where I think about maybe one of those plays is coming from the head XYZ at CNN. You know, maybe one of those plays is the editor-in-chief for the LA Times, for Time Mag, for, you know, Rolling Stones. Like, what if one of those 100 plays is from the girl whose mom is looking over her shoulder and is, you know, it's the writer for the biggest sitcom in the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just never know.
Yeah.
So I just focus on producing content and putting stuff out. And once again, like, when things happen, if you interview that guest and the topic seems a little bit more relevant, change the title, switch things up, and re-release it. True. People miss things. It's social media. You got to post things 5, 7, 10 times a day. I think the number is like, you have to literally have people see your content at least 21 times in order to like get one moment of just like, oh, that's what that is. I didn't get it. Because we're just always posting, sharing things. It's too much going on. You don't see all the stuff. So we just got to be like, you know, at least share it like once or twice. You know what I'm saying? If you share it once, you can't be like, oh, I posted on Facebook, you didn't see it. No, because the Facebook algorithm is silly. So like, we don't see a lot of your stuff. You know, there's a lot of things that go unnoticed, and that's why people find things 5 years later. That's why you'll get a like on a photo that you took 6 months ago. It's like, what the hell happened? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just be true to you, be consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a message, if you want to do a podcast or whatever that is, just do it. Like, if it sucks, it sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop putting all these feelings into this stuff. Like, yeah, I know we're artists, we're sensitive about our issues, as you know, I think Lauryn Hill or Erykah Badu says, but like, okay, be sensitive and then put it out again. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get to the point where you can't care either. That ain't no way to live life. You worried about everybody else. Everybody else making moves. You worried about everybody else and everybody else making moves. That's ridiculous.
Nemo putting that perspective out there. That's true, though.
Just saying. Look, man, get these coins. As Lovey said, and I've said it, you know, turn your pain into coins. You tired of men hollering, groping you, and being sexist? Freaking make a nonprofit. Get women together. Just get a march. Like, make some waves. Like, you tired of being broke and tired and lonely? Write a book about being broke, tired, and lonely, and how to get over it, and how you've gotten through it. Even if you're not over it, how you've gotten through it. That might get you one sale, and that person who's listening end up going off to become a millionaire, and you did exactly what you were supposed to do. So turn that pain that you're going through in the divorce or the bad breakup, or turn your joy into pain. If you have an amazing marriage, tell people. They want to know. If you have a more honest way to love your partner, if you have a better way to eat than to like freaking eat tofu bars and my ice cream, then tell me how I can keep my ice cream in my life. Like, you know, show me a different way, because that's what we're all looking for. We're all looking for a different way to do the norm. And we want to hear it from people on the other end of things. Like, while Google is cool, we're also tired of Google. We're tired of looking up things and seeing a million research. Like, you don't go past the first page of Google. If you don't see what you want, you get overwhelmed and you quit. So you need to be a voice for your audience, because they need a a Noah. They need their Ash Ketchum. They need their, Neo from the Matrix. There's this complex that we have as humans where we need one person to lead us. In every movie, TV show, the Bible, whatever it is, there's one man, one woman who is destined to save it all. Play off that hero mentality that we've all developed thanks to the media and arts and whatever. It's life. There is only one person. That's kind of how things have been since the Garden of Eden. So there's one man who made it all. Now there's one boy who's changed the world. One kid who'll do, like, that's how every movie starts. One land, one girl. Like, play off that and be that one person. Yes, there's on my wall, I'm looking at, hundreds of superheroes, because I have superheroes all over my room. And, there's dozens of superheroes on here. And Iron Man ain't saying, like, look, man, there's a Thor and there's a Hulk and there's a Captain America and there's a Spider-Man. Like, I don't think I should be Iron Man anymore. There's just too many superheroes saturating the market. Like, no, like, they still made a Hulk. They still made a Thor. They still made a Doctor Strange. They still made a, Spider-Man. They still made Guardians of the Galaxy. There's just all these random characters, and you would think we've had enough. We hadn't. There's no possible way. There's Power Rangers. There's all these people who saved the world. Ain't no comic book person saying, you know what, I'm not going to put out another comic book about saving lives. No, we're going to make another comic, change the characters, put different outfits on them, give them a different backstory, and it's still the same packaging, just a different twist. Now the beauty of the comic book industry is that we're really getting into seeing more narratives about characters of color. So right now on my desk, there's a really dope comic called Moon Girl and the Devil Dinosaur, about this young girl who's I think she's like in middle school. She's a genius. She's like one of the smartest girls in the Marvel universe, if not the smartest. So there's new narratives. If you're a comic book creator, you don't see people of color, start making more comics for people of color. Start creating new stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time. Once again, they're not stopping making comic books because there's other comic book heroes out. No. Same concept. Write your book, put out your cooking show, start your hair care blog, start doing makeup, stop tripping. Yes, there's millions of people doing it, but people keep creating it and somebody still wants it. There's billions of people on the planet. Get 100 that flex with you and keep it moving.
All right. How can people get in touch with you?
People can get in touch with me by finding me on Instagram, because that's my playground. So at Foolies, FOOLIES, FOOLIES on Insta. And then you can follow me on Facebook too, Alex Nemo Hans. I've been on Facebook since like 2005, so I'm getting at the point where you can only follow. I apologize. I don't control these algorithms. I have a lot of friends or whatever.
Popular man.
Just message. I'm blessed. I don't know if I'm popular. I mean, hey, I'll take 100 friends and like $10,000 in sales, and 5,000, and then like I sell one or two things. So numbers don't matter. What people do, what those small numbers do, is really what matters most. But that's another message for another time. But yeah, Alex Nemo Hans on Facebook, HANSE, or at Foolies on Instagram, and message me, holla at me, hit me up. I'm always on Messenger, so people can message me on Messenger. If I don't respond to you, I didn't get it, because Messenger has like another secret place where if we're not friends, you don't see it. So, I try to check it often, but sometimes people are really weird. So, yeah, outside of that, y'all just Google Foolies or Google Alex Nemo Hans and I'll pop up, or a video will pop up, and you can just follow the rabbit trail, I guess, or hole.
I admire your hustle, brother. Last question. How do you define success?
I define success. How do I define success? If you're just doing something that makes you feel good, and being specific in like the realm of your career or space, if it just makes you happy, then you're successful. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are CEOs and millionaires and gajillionaires, and they're so unhappy and so not appreciative of life, or there's just nothing happening for them. And although it looks like they have it all, they're empty. Well, it's because they're not happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have it all and not be happy. So I think if you are in a good space, If you can pay your bills on time, it's okay. If you got to move your savings to your check-ins, and like you're playing the juggling game, it's all right. It's okay. We've been
Hey,
there. I've
hey,
been there. I
hey.
might be there this week, but it won't be like that forever. But yeah, just if you're happy at what you do, saying, like if you walk dogs and you're happy at that, if you read comics and you're happy with that, you work and live and maintain a good life, and you're you're trying to get better. You're building yourself up. You're doing the best that you absolutely can, and that's successful to me. Saying like anything that I get after all the stuff that I've been able to do, it's just a plus.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Nemo, I'm glad we were able to finally.
I just said hopefully this made sense and the people listening took something away from it all.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad we were able to finally knock this out, because it's been a long time coming, and I know we've been speaking a little bit more frequently about doing the interview. So thanks for reaching out to me today.
No, not a problem.
I hope you enjoyed that interview with Alex. I know I did. Let's keep the motivation going for 2018. We are here to win. It is time to make some noise. So make sure you download the Time to Make Some Noise guide, right? 7 steps to creating an influential personal brand. MichelleGomez.com/noise-guide, where I walk you through that process. And look, everyone, I believe in you. I believe in you. And a personal connection leads to an influential network. So thanks for networking with Michelle.